Hi, and welcome to Storytime. I'm Mr. Ron from the Princeton Public Library. We are going to talk about the sea today. Our first story is an old one. It is called The Little Island. And my book here says Golden MacDonald and Leonard Weisgard. But Golden MacDonald was actually a pseudonym. Do you know what a pseudonym is? It means sometimes authors use a different name. Golden MacDonald is actually the pseudonym of Margaret Wise Brown. And you might know Margaret Wise Brown because she wrote a lot of children's books, and the most famous one is Goodnight Moon, and another one she wrote is called The Runaway Bunny. So this is The Little Island, and you see that medal? It won a Caldecott Medal, and the Caldecott Medal is for illustration. So the medal was actually given to Leonard Weisgard, and he painted the watercolor illustrations for this book. And this is an old book. It's older than Mr. Ron. It won the Caldecott Medal in 1947. So really, really pretty. Some of the pictures are in black and white, and some of them are in color. The Little Island. There was a little island in the ocean. Around it the winds blew and the birds flew and the tides rose and fell on the shore. There's the birds flying. Clouds passed over it, fish swam around it, and the fog came in from the sea and hid the little island in a soft, wet shadow. There's the fish swimming around. Nice foggy morning. The morning was very quiet on the island, with only the spiders sailing their webs against a gentle wind. There's the spiders there. There they are, kind of tucked in. You can see some little webbing. Small flowers, white and blue, and violets with golden eyes, and little waxy white-pink chuckleberry blossoms, and one tickly-smelling pear tree bloomed on the island, and that was the spring. Then one day, all the lobsters crawled in from the sea and hid under the rocks and ledges of the island to shed their shells and let their new ones grow hard and strong in hiding places in the dark. So there's the lobster coming up. All crawling out. And the seals came barking down from the north to lie on the sunny rocks and raise their baby seals. And can you see that the baby seal is white and the parents are very dark? And the kingfishers came from the south to build nests. Kingfishers are birds that eat fish, so an island would be a good place for them to try to raise their young. And the gulls laid their eggs on the rocky ledges. And wild strawberries turned red. Summer had come to the island. Butterflies and strawberries definitely say summer, don't they? And flowers. Boats sailed to the little island from far away, and herring and mackerel leaped out of the water, all silver in the moonlight. Herring and mackerel are kinds of fish. The seaweed squeaked at low tide, and little green pears grew on the pear tree. A black crow flew over. And a little kitten came to the island with some people on a picnic. The kitten prowled around the island and saw it was all surrounded by water. "What a little land," said the kitten. "This little island is as little as big is big." "So are you," said the island. "Maybe I am a little island too," said the kitten. "A little fur island in the air," and he left the ground and jumped in the air. "That is just what you are," said the little island. "But I am part of this big world," said the little kitten. "My feet are on it." "So am I," said the little island. "No, you're not," said the kitten. "Water is all around you and cuts you off from the land." Ask any fish, said the island. So the kitten caught a fish. Answer me this or I'll eat you up, said the kitten. How is an island a part of the land? Come with me, said the fish, down into the dark secret places of the sea, and I will show you. I can't swim, said the cat. Show me another way or I'll eat you up. Then you must take it on faith, what I tell you, said the fish. What's that, said the cat. Faith. To believe what I tell you about what you don't know, said the fish. And the fish told the kitten how all land is one land under the sea. The cat's eyes were shining with the secret of it, and because he loved secrets, he believed, and he let the fish go. There's the fish swimming off into the sea. And he got on his boat and sailed away into the setting sun. The little island had a little woods on it with 7 big trees in it and 17 small bushes and 1 big rock. Birds came to the woods on the island, and butterflies and moths flew over the ocean until they got there. Night came to the little island, dark and still, and 7 little fireflies flashed in the darkness, and a bat flew around and around the pear tree and woke up the owl. The wind whistled. Can you count the 7 fireflies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then came the storm. The wind blew from the southeast. Waves as big as glassy mountains came before it, and lightning and thunder, and always the howling, moaning, whistling wind. And then the storm passed and left the little island where it found it in the summer sea. You can barely see the little island above the waves. Autumn came, and the yellow pears dropped slowly to the ground. Winter came, and the snow fell softly, like a great quiet secret in the night, cold and still. A very gray, wintry day. Nights and days came and passed, and summer and winter, and the sun and the wind and the rain, and it was good to be a little island, part of the world and a world of its own, all surrounded by the bright blue sea. The Little Island. Pictures by Leonard Weisgard and text by Golden MacDonald, who was really Margaret Wise Brown. Let's sing a song. This one is called I'm Sitting in a Boat. So get your bottom all settled. We're going to rock back and forth. We're going to sing, I'm sitting in the boat, and the boat is rocking, rocking, rocking. I'm sitting in a boat, and the boat is rocking, rocking, rocking. I'm sitting in the boat, and the water is oh so high. Oh, so high in the morning, Lord, Lord, Lord. Shall we sing it one more time? I'm sitting in a boat, and the boat is rocking, rocking, rocking. I'm sitting in a boat, and the boat is rocking, rocking, rocking. I'm sitting in a boat, and the water is oh so high. Oh, so high in the morning, Lord, Lord, Lord. Doesn't that feel like sitting in a boat in the ocean, maybe traveling out to the little island? So I have another book today. And I thought the little island made me think of a new book. So Little Island was a very old book. This is a new book called Water and Land, and it's very simple, but it's a nonfiction book, and it talks about different forms, land forms, and different kinds of water forms. It's by Christy Hale, Land and Water Forms Around the World. Water, land. I like to see in the picture, the water is up in the sky, kind of above the water line, and land is below. There's a little fish and there's a bird. Lake. This is a lake. You might even call it a pond, but a lake is a body of water that is entirely surrounded by land. And this is the fun thing about this book, it has cutouts. So see where this cutout comes? So we have lake, the cutout swings around and it becomes island. And an island is a body of land completely surrounded by water. It's a small body, it's not a continent. A continent is also a body of land surrounded by water usually, but an island is a little one. And then we have a bay, a beach, and a bay is a little bit of water that comes into the land. Usually boats come into bays because bays tend to be safer from the storms and the big waves of the wide ocean. And then if we switch it around, it becomes a cape. And a cape is a small body of land that juts out into the water. You see, they always often put lighthouses on capes because boats are coming around and they need to see that there's a little piece of land so they don't run into it. This is a fun one. This is called a strait. And a strait is a little passage of water that goes between two bodies of land. And the opposite of a strait is an isthmus. And that's a little body of land that runs between two bodies of water. And if you lived in Madison, Wisconsin, Madison has a couple lakes, so there's little isthmuses that run between them. And then we had a system of lakes. So sometimes you get, especially where there's been glaciers, you get a lot of different lakes. So up in New York State and up in northern Minnesota, there's lots of lakes. Also the Lake District in England is kind of the same way. So a bunch of lakes surrounded by land, and then, remember we said an island is the opposite of a lake? Well, if you have a bunch of islands, that's called an archipelago. An archipelago is a fun word to say. Can you say it? Archipelago. And you have a gulf. And a gulf is similar to a bay, but it's bigger. Near the United States, we have the Gulf of Mexico. And then if you turn that around, you have a peninsula. And again, in the United States, we have Florida is a peninsula that sticks out between the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico. Here's a little review. We have water forms, so this is a lake, and that is an island. We have a bay, and then a cape. We have a strait, and an isthmus. We've got a system of lakes, and an archipelago, and we have a gulf, and we have peninsula. Water and land. So we had a big storm a little while ago, and you might still have some branches or some sticks or even a whole tree down in your yard. I had some branches down in mine, and we're going to do a craft with this. So for this nature chalk painting craft, you need to go out and collect some sticks. My sticks are pretty big. Got one small one there, but we had some big trees and branches come down, so I've got some fairly big ones. And that's kind of nice because it gives you a good big surface to work with, but you don't need to have them quite so big. And you really should remember not to pull down any branches that are in trees. Only take branches that have fallen down. So if you go out looking, be sure to do that. The other thing we need is sidewalk chalk. So I've got my set of sidewalk chalk here. Let's see what colors we have. And you want something that has some good contrast, maybe some pink. I might take some purple too, and maybe some blue. white there too. And so you just take your branch and just see what happens. You could rub it in with your fingers a little bit. You can make just marks, and then maybe take another color and make some more marks, and another color, and make some more marks. Maybe rub some more in the sides here. Maybe do some white splotches and some white marks. Rub it in. How's that look? We'll do a little bit. This was a nice rough branch. This is a little smoother, so what happens if we do that? We'll try to make some stripes on this one. How about that? And see the little places where the branches were, kind of make a little wall. And then I can go on the other side with the blue. The colors are kind of soft because it's chalk, and the chalk just turns into soft powder, doesn't it? But what happens if we take some water and use some water with our chalks? The chalk is dry and it soaks up the water. Let's see, we're going to try a new stick and see what happens on the new stick. Oh, it goes on a little thicker and a little darker too. I bet it'll dry out though. It blends a little differently. That's kind of nice. Smush it with our hands, soften it up a little bit. It almost makes it look like kind of a magical tree, doesn't it? There is a kind of sycamore tree, I think, that actually, if you peel the bark off, it comes out rainbow colors. You might have to look at that up and see what it is. And then you can combine kind of wet with dry. Maybe we'll put some stripes on this in the wet. I wonder if those darker lines will stay dark or if they'll dry back to the lighter color when they dry out. This one looks like it has chalk on it, but this is actually called lichen. This is the combination of a fungus and a plant. It has a little chlorophyll, and that's why it's green. We can kind of fill in around it, add some other color to where the lichen is not. So what can you do with these once they're dry? Well, if you want to keep them, you can spray it with hairspray or polyurethane. Mom or Dad can help you with that. and that'll keep the chalk from rubbing off, and it'll seal it. So then you can kind of keep it forever. Maybe you can put them out in your yard. Maybe make a little row of chalk painted sticks that can line a path, or you could stick them in the earth like this and make a little sign. You could tie a string on it and hang maybe feathers or shells or other little interesting twigs or leaves that you find and make a mobile out of it. You do lots of things. We will have sidewalk chalk out in the lobby starting on Tuesday if you'd like to pick some up. We gave some away earlier in the summer, but we do have some left, so I'll package up some more, and if you want, you can come take it. You can draw on sticks, draw on rocks, draw on the sidewalk. Just make sure Mom or Dad approve of where you're drawing. But you can leave a message or an interesting sign someplace. Wouldn't it be interesting to leave this stick maybe along the path at Ziering Park or just on the sidewalk by your house, and people can come across it and wonder, what does it mean? Be a little bit of a mystery that'll make them look closer at nature. So that is nature chalk painting. Thank you for coming to Storytime. We hope you had a good time. Hope you'll get your sidewalk chalk out and try to do some drawing on some sticks or maybe some rocks or even on the sidewalk. You have a great week. We'll talk to you next time on Storytime. In the meantime, be safe and have fun.